a CDC, Center for Disease Control, dog import form receipt requiring vaccination and veterinary documentation. So you're welcome to read through this as I'm chatting, but here's what I really wanted to chat about. So this is an opinion piece. This is based off my experience and why they came out with this. I'd love to have your opinions. I'd love to have a civil discussion, and I'd love for you to put your thoughts and ask your questions in the comment section. This is an opinion piece. This is not me trying to teach anything. This is just me giving my opinion on this subject. So here we go. Here's the reason why I think why they did this. And this is purely based off of my experience in the rescue industry and as a dog trainer. So there's a couple of reasons why people import dogs into the United States. One is breeders who are bringing in different bloodlines to improve their stock. So I'm not talking about those people. That's not who I'm talking about today. So we can set those people aside. What I am talking about is the rescue industry rescuing dogs from other countries and bringing them into the United States. So here's my opinion on this. This needs to stop. And here's why I say that. Many times, not all of the times, but what I'm talking about here is rescuing dogs from third world countries that are feral, that are used, that where, people will eat the dogs, right? They're used for food. They're used in dog fighting rings in other countries, or they're feral. They're wandering around on the streets. Rescues will feel bad and they'll bring them into the United States. Here's why this needs to stop. Number one, I want to address the motivations behind this. Generally speaking, the motivations behind this are good. There's very few people, they are out there, but there's very few people that are trying to cause any harm. But the motivation and the reality is two different things. So the motivation, I applaud their motivation. I applaud their hearts. I applaud that they want to do good in the world. Please keep that motivation, right? That needs to be kept. What needs to stop is the reality of this is you are taking dogs that are, number one, they are a mixture of feral breeds, meaning in the United States, a lot of our pet dogs are golden retrievers, poodles, right? All the breeds that we know, and they've been bred for generations to be pet dogs. So over time, a lot of the feral characteristics of these dogs have been bred out. So our dogs in the United States are generally good pet dogs. Other countries have different customs, have different needs for their dog, have different uses for these dogs. And it's not necessarily pet dogs. So you get these dogs that go back generations, and that feral characteristic of it's me against the world is not bred out of them. If you bring them over into our country and put them in average pet homes, you are putting people at danger, and these dogs are going to be killed anyway. So it is extremely irresponsible to do that. So think about the nature of these dogs. The nature of these dogs is they are not bred to be pet dogs. Second is, I think, why the CDC is cracking down on this, because you cannot bring these dogs with who knows what diseases, parvo, distemper, and many other diseases that I'm not aware of into the United States and have them spread these diseases. That is absolutely a disaster waiting to happen. So my opinion piece today is we need to stop specifically rescuing dogs from other countries and bringing them into our country. Number one, these dogs are not the same dogs that we know. So a unaware person will go to this rescue, and these average families are like, oh, it's a rescue, so they're doing good, and they know where these dogs come from, and they got them all these health checks. And the average person does not understand what's going on behind the scenes, and they trust in these rescues when they bring a dog home that does not act like a pet dog, and that is dangerous to them. That is irresponsible. And then the second thing is, I'm not a veterinary tech, but they're bringing in diseases, they're sick dogs, and they're spreading it in the United States. So here's my opinion. This needs to stop, which also leads me to this third ethical, moral dilemma, which I'm not claiming I have the answer for. This is just my opinion, and I don't have the answer. But my opinion is that if you really want to do good, teach the people in these countries ways of reducing their problem. Don't just pick up the problem and put the problem in another geographical location. So find out what the issue really is and help the people in those own countries solve their own problems. Don't spread the problem to other people. So that's a moral, ethical question that I don't have the answer for, but I do believe that if you really want to be helpful, if you really want to be kind, it's going to be about education and figuring out why these dogs are proliferating, why the problem exists, and fixing the problem, not just moving the problem from one geographical location to the other location. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what you think. And again, just to recap, I'm not talking about breeders that are bringing in different bloodlines and stock and they're doing it responsibly. I'm not talking about people who are traveling, right? I'm talking about rescuing dogs from other countries, thinking you're doing good, bringing them into our country. But the reality is that it's irresponsible. You're not doing good. You're just moving the problem around. Oh, the last thing I wanted to cover is that because they have been doing this, other good people who want to travel with their dogs, other breeders who are doing this responsibly are now having to pay the price as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Put your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let's have a civil conversation, and I'll talk to you in the comments.